Well, hello mariners. Hope you guys are doing well. Guys, in this video we are going to discuss about a tropical revolving storm. So that is what exactly a tropical revolving storm means. That is a TRS means. We will talk about its lifespan, its origin and movement of a TRS, and also we will discuss about its avoiding action, that what to do, how to safeguard a life and the ship in the ocean if we encounter a TRS. It's I'm not on a ship, so it's very difficult right now to show you through a video. So I will try my best through images and other things I will explain to you. So also we will discuss with incident with a naval ship. Guys, please be till end and watch the entire video. If you like it, give a thumbs up and subscribe it. A tropical revolving storm is a small area of a very low pressure and around which wind of a gale force of 34 knots or force up to 8 or more blow in a spirally inward anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere and the clockwise in the southern hemisphere. In case of violent tropical revolving storm, wind speed goes up to 130 knots and have been experienced with occasionally gust up to 150 knot. So this is our normal view of a map. Then there are different name has been used for different places, whereas typhoons in the China Sea, North China Sea, whereas in the Bay of Bengal also sometimes it's typhoon. In the Indian Ocean, the Indian Oceans and the Arabian Sea, it is known by as cyclones, and also in the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean, it is known by as hurricanes and so on. And it is very danger to a shipping, as TRS is the Atlantic and Pacific are generally more violent than in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. So in the latter area, only on a rare occasion do wind speed reaches to 100 knot. Okay, so let's have an example of US Navy which has gone into an eye of a violent TRS. Let's have a discussion about that vessel that is in the December 1944 in the China Sea. So let's have discussion. Visibility was at that time between 0 and 1 kilometer due to spray and a terrible rain. So inability of a vessel to respond to rudder due to force of the wind. So and all the deck structure and equipment such as mast, aerial, funnel, davit, board, ventilator, etc. carried away by the wind, and due to this there was no communication between the vessel and the shore, and also on the ship the people, the crew person, the officers, they are also not able to communicate with each other due to the hammering noise of the rain. And so at that time the vessel was rolling about 70°, causing large quantity of water to be sipped through a various opening, flooding of the compartment including the engine room, resulting in a short circuit, fires and failure. So almost it's about a loss of a 3 destroyer which capsized and sank within a few minutes, taking all hands. Loss of about 800 lives at that time. Damage to about 29 vessels, of which 10 were serious. Irreparable danger loss about 150 aircraft, with resultant in fire. So this is the scenario that how you imagine. Whereas this warship are especially, this naval ships are especially built for that kind of condition to protect themselves from the guns and lot of things. Even in such a storm, this kind of vessel are just destroyed within a minute, within an hour. Then just imagine about our merchant ships. So guys, you can just imagine about this normal our merchant ship. This is just a normal scenario. It's just a small swell, how the vessel is rolling and pitching. So now just imagine about the TRS. It's unbelievable, and the entire merchant vessel can be destroyed as we just entered in the TRS. So it's very important to know about the TRS, and to know also know the most things, to know the avoiding action. So please watch this entire video. Well guys, local names and seasons. So that this is a local names of a TRS in a various places, and these are seen as you are seeing on the screen only, that in the North Atlantic there is no almost no name and there is no season when it calls. So in the western side, in the North Atlantic, in the western side, it is known as an hurricane, and it's occurred between June to November. Eastern side, almost no hurricanes, no TRS, no tropical revolving storms. The southern Atlantic do not occur only. But northern Pacific, that is in the western side, it is known as a typhoon, and all the year around worst period is from June to November, and the eastern side it is also same. In the southern Pacific western side, it is known by as an hurricane, and it is between December to April. And in South Indian Ocean western side, cyclone, or in the eastern side it is known as by willy willy, that is December to April. So well guys, let's talk about the origin and movement of a lifespan. So actually our the TRS originate is between 5 degree to 20 degree in the both side, that is in the northern hemisphere and also in the southern hemisphere. So now it's travel west, it travels to west and west northwest, and in the northern hemisphere, and between in the southern hemisphere it's also travels same as west south west in the southern hemisphere at a speed of 12 knot. Somewhere along its track they curve away from the equator, curve to north, and in the southern hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere it's come to curve to north, and in the southern hemisphere it's curved to the side of south, and from there in the northern hemisphere it's do a track of northeast, whereas in the southern hemisphere it does a track of southeast in the southern hemisphere. Now the recurving is such that the storm travels around the oceanic high, which is situated at about 30 degree north and 30 degree south in the middle of the large ocean. After recurving, the speed of travel increases to about 15 to 20 knots. Sometimes a TRS does not curve or recurve at all, but continues on its original track. And if this it does not curve, and this entire just traveling on its basic path, then it will reaches to a land, and after striking to a land due to the friction and lot of forces acted there, and this TRS will dissipate, means no longer it will be a TRS, and hence it is no danger to a shipping or anything. Now let's talk about this the lifespan of a TRS is anything from 1 to 90 days. The average of what the TRS has been noted is about of 6 days. So maximum it goes up to a 19 days. Mean it can survive in the sea, up to 19 days. So it is a very dangerous things. So now let's talk about the structure. So this is a simple barograph graphs of a typical TRS. So actually what it's actually, the TRS has a structure of a eye or a vertex. This is a eye or vertex, you can say it, this area. It is actually of the diameter of 4 miles to 30 miles, and the average is being of 10 miles. This eye area is very calm, means there is nothing at all, means no revolving of water, air, nothing. It's a very calm air. And this outside of this eye, that was known as a eye wall, and eye wall is basically, this is the main area where a high pressure develops. It's the occasionally it's as high as 130 knots, and occasionally it's gust up to 150. The pressure getting in the eye wall is very steep, and therefore the barograph would register a nearly vertical trend downgrade. And also there are the things that is known as a outer storm area, This is the outer storm area. The area surrounding the eye wall having a diameter between 50 miles and to up to 800 miles, the average being about 500 miles, which in this region are strong about 4 to 6 or 7, and the pressure gradient is much less than in the eye wall. Means the main area where the ship can be destroyed within a minute is between the eye wall. This area is exists up to 4 to 30 to 50 nautical miles. This is the outer storm area. It is also danger, but not as much as that is in the eye wall. This is something a plan view of a TRS at sea level. So it's actually the TRS is how it's formed. So it's on the lower level. It's form of a nimbostratus cloud. Above that, cirrus and altostratus. There are only when TRS occurs, you will find of a three type of clouds that are forming around our sky. That is at the lower level is nimbostratus, altostratus, and the higher is above of that is cirrus. Well, it is clear from the figure only. It is everything is mentioned here. How its cloud are formed, and if you want to learn on clouds, formation of clouds, I will make another video, so please DM in the comment box. For that I will do the things. So guys, one more thing, that how we will come to know that we are approaching a TRS or a TRS is approaching us. So it's a very simple way, that due to a very high swell, that is a very violent wind of a eye wall, send swell in a radial direction, as you are seeing on the screen. Swell can be experienced as much as up to 1,000 miles away. So swell travels much faster than the speed of a travel of the storm. So swell therefore approaches from the direction of the storm center. So swell is usually the first indication that a TRS is approaching. Where the second point that you will come to realize that the atmospheric pressures falls in a very fast. In a while on a watch, the OW used to see the barograph or a barometer, Android barometer, at every watch or change of the watch. So when it falls a very fast speed, it means the approach of a TRS should be suspected. The ship is in an area where the TRS generally occurs. Okay, the Android barometric pressure, due to allowance of a semi-diamond, and lot of things are, so means from there are the certain condition, from that you can easily realize that yeah, really you are approaching the TRS area, or the TRS is approaching towards you, and you will have a storm warning. Weather report based on the satellite picture and observation from the vessel may contain storm warning, which gives a position and the pressure of the storm center, and also probable direction of the movement of the storm. It should be noted the satellite picture are restricted to only a few per day, and also that observation from the ship in that vicinity by the swell and lots of things, you will easily come to know that yeah, TRS, you are approaching to a eye of a TRS. Now, action when approaches the TRS is confirmed, then what action you will take? So obtain the bearing of a storm eye center. As from the swell you will come to know that this is a spiral way, so there may be that side is the eye. So ascertain in which semicircle the vessel lie. You have to realize that in which side you are right now, and take avoiding action. So now we will talk about how to take a avoiding action. What action will be best to avoid TRS? So well guys, now let's begin with our avoiding action. So what is avoiding action? So avoiding action means any action which lead to keep our vessel well out of the storm center. So if a vessel is in port when a storm warning is received, it may be advisable to proceed well out to the sea, so that the vessel will have a plenty of sea room and sufficient depth to prevent the vessel from pounding on the seabed during pitching and heaving. Well, if proceeding out to a sea is not possible, then what we have to do? We simply just move out of the port area and anchored our vessel and keep our engine ready at all time to prevent dragging of the anchors. So now, what action to take if a vessel is in a dangerous quadrant? So proceed as fast as practicable, keeping the wind on your 1 to 4 point on the starboard quarter and 1 to 4 point on the port quarter when you are in the port quarter is for in the southern hemisphere, and on the starboard quarter is for the northern hemisphere. So like we have to take from 1 point to 4 point. So exact what we have to take. So for a vessel which is doing a speed of less than 12 knot, we will keep the wind on the 1 point on the starboard bow, and with that speed it will start altering their course and passes until the pressure rises back to the normal. So until the vessel is outside the outer storm area. Okay, now same for the port side, we have to just keep, and if a vessel is doing a speed of more than 12 knot, then we have to take the wind on 4 point to the starboard bow for a vessel in the northern hemisphere, and 4 point on the port bow for a vessel in the southern hemisphere. And with that course speed, and there is sufficient room, just do that course and just move out of that area until the storm is normal, or the other way until you are at a normal pressure. And if there is insufficient room, then what we will do? So at that time the vessel should have heave to with the wind on the starboard bow until the storm passes over. Just keep the wind on your bow and be steady. Any wind is trying to deflect your direction, just maintain your speed such a way that it's not able to deflect your heading, and just keep the wind on the bow and maintain your course and speed until the storm passes away. And it's really bad thing if you just encountered the eye. So well, now so how we will decide whether you are in a dangerous quadrant or not? So this is done by the Boyce-Bellot law. So I hope you know this, guys. Well, Boyce-Bellot law is simply while facing true north, the low pressure will be on your right hand side, that is starboard side, and high pressure on your road side. So basically the TRS will generate in that side where there is a low pressure. So basically you have to move out of from the low pressure, and you have to enter to your high pressure area. So now if a vessel is in the path of a storm, or if in a navigable semicircle, then simple, proceed as fast as practicable with wind about 4 point on the starboard quarter, 4 point on the starboard quarter, 4 point on the starboard quarter, and port quarter in the southern hemisphere. Altering course as wind backs or veer in the southern hemisphere. This action would be kept up until the pressure rises back to normal, until the vessel is outside the storm area. So well, the ideal condition for the formation of a TRS is high relative humidity in open sea, high temperature in the tropical area, low pressure area surrounded by a area of a high pressure during a daytime over a large island, and convection current daytime over a large islands. So well, these are the condition where from the figure we will just normally come to know that the TRS is generating. So I hope this video is much useful to you guys, and if you like the video, then give us a thumbs up and do like and subscribe the channel. Share with your friends. Thank you and Jai Hind.